My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Shadows over Loathing. Yeah, we've checked out most of this town being, hang on, gonna give us a name anywhere? Sandwich, of course, the name of this town is Sandwich. Wait a second. Maybe we'll check these outhouses first before we go into the graveyard. Yes, the name of this town is Sandwich. All of the inhabitants have been convicted successfully and executed also successfully for witchery and, witchcraft and etc., those kinds of things in 1692. An old-fashioned three-seat outhouse. Sandwich boasted the country's very first tripartite outhouse. Outhouse. Please do not attempt to use it. It is very old. A more modern convenience is being provided for your modern convenience. I'll avail myself of it. Huh. All three doors go into the same place. This facility has 3 sinks, and this is one of them. It says for each. 1 toilet, 0 privacy. One of the reasons, of course, I imagine here that we have 1 toilet rather than 3 individual is because we flush it and get 25 experience. That's right. Toilets are probably the largest allotment of experience that I get in this game consistently. St. Polycarp's forehead for the +1 muscle. Do I want to have a look at our stats for a second here? Muscle 5, Mysticality 3, Moxie 6. I can give myself a Mysticality with each my pets and my hat without taking away from my muscle or Moxie, and I would be able to give myself a muscle by eating a food. All this to say that if I really wanted to, I think I would be able to, get 5 on all statistics, which I think was one of the checks I needed to pass. I will also, however, quickly have a check of my combat skills, effects, perks. Okay, it's not those. I'm gonna quickly have a look in my books. There we go. History's Worst Honking can be used to further upgrade Sacks of Violence. So this is the 1 damage AoE. It does 1 damage AoE per round at the moment, but if I upgrade it with 75, which admittedly is quite expensive, but it will be 3 damage per round. 3 damage per round in AoE. Ridiculously powerful, seems important to me. One of the big things that I have been lacking is a significant area of effect, so I'm definitely gonna upgrade that. This music was obviously written by someone who read all about the bad honks and thought, well, the problem with those honks is they weren't bad enough. It's just awful. Speaking of bad honks, you really need to blow your nose. You can't find a tissue, so use every single page of the book instead. Then, because the book is disgusting now, you throw it away. Okay. Seems appropriate. I don't need to hold on to that if I know how to play the Sacks of Violence as violently as possible. Time for us to check out this graveyard. This leads to a little cemetery behind the church. The smallest church in Sandwich, though it once was larger. Peter Proctor was born at 1682 and died at 1692. Sorry, 1680 and 1692. Lived for 12 years? He was a duty head until the very end. Excuse me, this grave is much worse for wear than any of the rest of these. Interesting. Beatrice Proctor was born 1933 and died 19... what? I'm just flipping that letter over. Sorry about that. That's 1633 to 1691. Abigail Proctor also was born and presumably died at some point. Alicia Proctor, similar. Nicholas Proctor, however, was born in 1656 and died in 1886. What the heck? He lived to be 230 years old? Proctor, our town founder, 1582 and died in 1644. Okay, this seems like it might end up being important for a puzzle, but I'm not gonna immediately start trying to solve it. Let's at least... Actually, this might be the rest of the information I need for this puzzle. This tombstone is engraved with the Herbo code. I'm gonna translate it with my Herbo code knowledge. The code reads, hollow tombstone, possible treasure. You check inside the stone and indeed there is some treasure. You got Satchel's lucky hat. This thing has a solid gold hat band, and there's a tag inside that says, property of Satchel Doggins. But help yourself if you find it in a hollow tombstone or something. Plus 30% to meat drops. I'm not really keen on getting plus 30% to meat drops. Like, I feel like if I need meat, I have meat. What I really need is experience. John Putnam, Joseph Putnam, Millicent Putnam, Marianne Putnam, although her tombstone is covered in lichen, and Delia Putnam, also 11. So Delia was born 1 year after Peter. So the kids, do they all have kids of similar age in the family? Yeah, Thomas Danforth. Also 12, 1680 to 1692. There's Clarence Danforth as well, Teresa Danforth, Patience Danforth, and Bartholomew Danforth. Welcome to the Sandwich Cemetery. Please be respectful to the graves. Also, check out how many of them were terrifying witches who were executed in the witch trials of 1692. None? Is the answer none? There's more space in that direction, but there aren't any more graves. I mean, yep, this seems like it's definitely going to be information for a puzzle later on. Where's that puzzle? I'm ready to solve some puzzles. I've got my puzzling cap on. This chessboard, this Aris, yes, that has the footnote as well. You're not fond of this plant. These dried fronds are of no significant historical significance. Okay, wait, this is all the rooms, right, that we weren't allowed to go into, despite the fact that we know their names now. By the Dosts, by the Proctors, etc., etc. I wonder if maybe what's going on here is I just don't have any reason to be here yet, and someone else will send me to the Witch Town in order to get something at some point. Spots all fished out, come back tomorrow. Whoa, there's a horse trough. Actually, it's a water trough. I don't know why I just said the other thing now. I'm gonna fish in it though. Regardless of its nature as a horse or water trough. I think it's mostly filled with, well, I was gonna say water, not horses, but apparently it's filled with a pair of old shoes. They are saddle shoes. Ride the ground like a horse. They're called saddle shoes because, like a saddle, they're worn directly underneath the butt. I'm gonna continue fishing. I'm definitely gonna use those shoes for a little bit of time as well, though. After a brief struggle, you reel something in. I get a baseball. It's a combat item. I can chuck at an enemy for 5 physical damage. The smell of fresh cut grass, the bellowing of the peanut cellar, and the crack of this ball against the skull of your rival. Ah, the sounds of the ball game. You've caught something. It's cholera. You got an item. Bucket of chum. Oh, bucket of chum. This bucket contains a feast fit for a king, as long as it's the king of some kind of disgusting fish kingdom, and his throne is a gross toilet. Increases your moxie by 1 until you eat something else. Alright, Ekity! You want sandwich cream? I guess that makes sense. I want to fill the dish with some sandwich cream. And unlock a new cat! I want to pet her now to see what her buff is. Hecate's buff is 3 hot armor? That's really, really good. That would be very, very powerful for attempting to solve any sort of chess-related conundrums. That said, Ishmael's boon's pretty good right now. I don't need to use this. I can get something else later. Hey, do you have anything to say to me now that I know more about? No? Apparently not. Wait a second, one last thing to check out. Okay, good, I do have another sandwich cream available just in case I happen to need it for something else. Good, good, good. Yeah, that's the Putnam house. Do you want to tell me anything now that I know about the Putnams? No? Excellent. Nothing. I don't think I'm missing some initial trigger here. I just think maybe I'm supposed to come back later. And so I'll do that. Let's head back to the map. And I mean, look, the hardware store's so close. Why not? I don't have any seltzer. You hear some growling and shrieking and laughing nearby, and despite it being a bad idea, because it's probably more of those horrible fairies, you go to check it out. It does in fact turn out to be more of those horrible fairies. These ones are tormenting a badger. which is backed up into a shallow burrow and frantically swatting at them as they poke at it with little knives. Just as you're starting to back away, grateful that they haven't noticed you, you step on a dry twig. It cracks noisily and all the fairies turn around. Dang it, twig! They're tormenting a badger! Absolutely! You know what? I feel so justified. Fairy Exploder intends to explode, dealing 3 damage to the entire hot party. I wonder if that is going to murder them. Behind another Fairy Exploder, and then a Mush Tender at the very back who intends on conjuring up a Mushling to assist him in beating us up. I'm definitely going to start out with our Sacks of Violence. Ooh, 3 damage per round, baby. You're not ready for that. I'm a little worried about my weapon attack. Oh, okay, right. The limitation in the first instance was that I was fighting an ethereal, eldritch, monstrosity, enemy, etc., or whatever. And in this instance, it's that they have 6 physical armor, so... I mean, I'm seeing physical armor. Oh, okay, yeah, they straight up explode. Never mind, we were gonna be fine the entire time. Let me just give a little bit of a wee bit of an orchestra strike over to the left-hand side, and then finish it up with a cymbal. You won! The badger seems grateful, or at least as grateful as a badger can seem, which isn't very much, to be honest. Fairy loot makes up the difference, however. I get 7 experience, the fairy skull one deals your mysticality +3 and spooky damage. This tiny wand is tipped with the fairy skull, which is like a human skull, except it's only 1 inch in diameter. There's also a fairy cake, which is a food stuff. To a fairy, this is a huge birthday cake! To you, it's a grisly reminder that you killed a fairy on its birthday. Increases your mysticality by 1 and the damage of your magical weapon attacks by 2. Being a food buff, and Gideon, of course, grows stronger. Thank you, Gideon. After a short hike, you find a small hardware store nestled in the sparse woods surrounding the lake. It's the very model of a down-home country hardware store, except that it doesn't have any old-timers strutting around out front chewing the fat. Maybe it's their day off. Or maybe they ran out of fat. Let's have a look around. Oh, that's some hobo code right there. You see some hobo code scrolled into the dust. The code says, "Nice man, ask him for candy." I will do so in just a moment, but let me make sure that none of these trees have anything to say to us. Okay, they do not. This barrel has a joke price tag on it. 10,000 meat. This barrel is of rusty nuts and bolts. In case you wanted to buy some garbage, I guess. Paints in all of this season's trendiest patented colors, such as tomato magenta and forest tan and olive azure. Oh, okay. In all this season's trendiest colors, such as radish crimson and sepia orange and zucchini cerulean. Okay, the first two are kind of, like radishes are kind of reddy, a little bit purpley. Crimson, yeah, okay, I get that. Sepia orange, yeah, I can certainly see the association. Zucchini cerulean, though. Don't. Rutabaga periwinkle. Clementine maroon certainly makes no sense. Yeah, I was wondering if they were always intended to be antithetical terms there, but not necessarily, I guess. The proprietor, you talk to him. You're the proprietor, I presume? You also say, yeah, okay, you're gonna have to have a new voice though, so. Welcome to Valley Hardware, best hardware store in Crystal Dream Valley. Because of the selection or the prices? Because it's the only hardware store in all of Crystal Dream Valley. Okay. Been a long time since I got to use that joke. Don't get many new customers or new jokes. What can I do for you? Do you have any candy? Why sure, here you go. He pulls out a piece of hard candy from a jar onto the counter and hands it to you. Good item, hard candy. Thanks. A potion which increases our physical armor by 3 until we use another. I'm gonna ask about something else. Hey, do you have a valve? Oh sure, what kind do you need? Well, I need a Glaxton valve. A excuse me. Sorry, something else. This is not a Malston, it's not a Snackston, it's not a Marston, it's not a Glasston, it's not a Glaston, it's not a Garbston, certainly. Something else. Whoa, it's definitely clearly a Glaxton valve. It's the only kind of thing that's going to work with a Glaxton pump. A Glaxton valve? Well, shucks, they stopped making those things nearly a decade ago now. I guess there's a slight chance there's still one in the back room. Ain't been there since the termites got at the inventory. Or maybe after it got flooded. Anyway, it's a real biblical style of disaster back there. Here, I'll unlock the door for you so you can take a look around. If you find a Glaxton valve in that mess, you're welcome to it. Thanks. Mind your step in there. Do you have any candy? Oh, you know that I do, but I also know that you just got some. Don't be greedy. Good point, well made. What do you have to sell? Comfy hat lining. +3 maximum HP to a hat. Couple of matches. A reliable, if expendable source of a very small amount of fire. I'm certainly going to buy both of those. I'm also going to buy both of the fuses. Allows various electrical circuits to work properly. I'm also going to buy both of the batteries, I think. Portable battery technology is in its infancy, but the fact that something is an infant has never stopped you from carrying it into dangerous situations before. Self-adhesive rivets adds 1 physical armor to a pair of pants. Steel-toed boots for people who value their toes a lot more than they value the rest of their feet. People will hear us coming if we have that. And a used plunger, which is a melee weapon. Which I'm just gonna buy off of you for fun, frankly, friend. Alright, I definitely have some stuff that is duplicate, right? I got some dupes here that I can sell for certain. For the right price, oh, I'll absolutely part with the Doughboy loaf. You could even get me to sell some of the fish in a sack. The old fishing rod, considering the fact that I have a salty fishing rod, which seems better. Maybe. I'll hold on to it still. Some issued sardines, some handfuls of clean, dirty, and holy water. Doesn't look like I have that many duplicates, unfortunately. I mean, surely I have some. There we go. There we go. The Tin Lizzy grease guns coming in clutch here. Couple of them to sell, although I will say this is a Moxie plus Sleaze damage weapon. Just in case I want to trade away from doing all of this physical damage at the moment. Use plunger, vibrations of the netherworld. There's a welding mask, of course, that I can get. Whoa, hang on, I'll sell the one I'm not wearing, thank you. Ah. Yeah, no, I can see the problem back here. I'll fix that in a second for you. This shelf is labeled ineffective pesticides. You don't understand the purpose of any of these tools. Yep, they're not wrong. I'm gonna say at least one of them is used on a lathe. I'm not gonna tell you how, because I don't know. Valley Hardware Backroom, a pile of waterlogged garbage. It's a good thing you don't care what month it is, because this calendar up here is worthless. The shelf is empty, but the emptiness is also somehow dirty. Seepage has caused this concrete to become set in its ways. I'm gonna blow its mind as a psychogeologist. You open the concrete's mind to the wonders of the world. It feels stronger and more capable now. You get 5 experience as well as some powerful grit. Nasty trash. These boxes would be perfect for storing a collection of mildewed clothes. They may already. How much of a door has to be gone before it doesn't count as a door anymore? It's more of an entryway at that point. Anything up and around it in the corner or anything? Something's wrong with this door, in a way that termites and flooding doesn't readily explain. I step through it. You step through the door, hole in the door, and immediately feel a sickening lurch in your stomach as a burst of, "What? This was a bad idea," floods your mind. Like when you hit the first drop on a traveling carnival's rusty and hastily assembled roller coaster. After a moment, when the feeling has subsided enough, you open your eyes and look around. It looks like you're still in the same place you were, except everyone came in and cleaned everything up while you weren't looking. Ha! This is the valley backware. Stacks of boxes neatly labeled. It's a workbench covered in tools. We can use it to make some stuff with our anarchists' hardware. We would be able to make a nuclear bomb. All right, boom. Yep, that's a nuclear bomb. I just have one of those now. Shelves full of neatly organized hardware that definitely hasn't been destroyed yet. There's a 1917 calendar on the wall by the desk. It looks brand new. As you leave the storeroom, the shopkeeper spins around and you both stare at each other in surprise. You, because the shopkeeper looks quite a bit younger than when he did when you went in there, and him because... Hey now! What the heck you think you're doing in my back room, and how'd you get that back there without me seeing you? I'm a termite inspector? I didn't call for no termite inspector. No, I do surprise inspections, so the termites won't find out in advance. Well, how'd you get past me? I'm very good at my job. Huh. Well, I don't expect you found any termites. I make my own custom pesticide. Yeah, it seems to be pretty effective. Might have to go back in there for a follow-up check later, though. That's fine, I suppose. Just don't move stuff around. I like to keep it tidy back there. No problem. His voice changed over the years. This shelf was laden with dangerous pesticides that you're pretty sure were banned years ago. You don't understand the purpose of any of these tools, and you never will. Paints in all of this season's most popular colors, such as plain gray and conservative gray and conservative gray. Ooh, ordinary white and old-fashioned blue and conservative orange. Traditional yellow, plain blue and conservative blue. Ugh. I don't want any of them. A barrel of gleaming nuts and bolts. A sign on this barrel says not for sale. There doesn't seem to be anything on the underside of this door. Weird. Interesting. It's the hardware store guy. Back when he was younger. Is younger? Welcome to Valley Hardware, best hardware store in Crystal Dream Valley. Why's that? Well, shucks, no one's ever asked me to justify that claim before. Is it because it's the only hardware store in the valley? Ha, that's a good one, I'll have to remember that. I'm sure you will. What can I do for you? I'd like to buy one of those new Glaxton valves. Sorry, government fella bought my entire stock. What? Oh yeah, for the big dam they're building. I can order one though. How long would that take? 6 to 8 weeks. Would you mind holding on for me until if I'm not back right away? Oh sure, that's no problem. How long you figure? 11 years. What? No, forget how I said that's not a problem. Well, nuts. Listen, I can tell you they bought heap more Glaxton valves than what they're gonna need for that there dam. If you go up to the worksite, you might get the foreman to sell you one of their spares. Where is it? Southeast end of the valley. You got a map? Well, I've got a postcard. Crystal Dream Lake. I never heard about that. But it's got a little picture of a dam on it there, see? It's about the same place relative to here. Location unlocked, Crystal Dream Dam. Gee, thanks. You rent outhouses? You rent outhouses? Sorry, you're renting out outhouses? Yeah, at least I was. Now the indoor plumbing's starting to get popular. There's no market for them anymore, so just got the one left, and after that I'm quitting and calling it up. Quitting and calling it quits and putting up new ones. Can I rent the last one? Yeah, sure thing. It'll be 200 meat for the installation and half that every month each forward for maintenance. What maintenance do you do? I dump some powdered lime down the hole, clean out the ventilation pipes and check for splinters. And once the yard starts to get full, I move the outhouse over a couple of yards and dig a new one for you. Plus you get a free subscription to the local newspaper. Yeah. I pay him. Great, where'd you want me to put it? The Sandwich Museum, please. Oh, they already got a pretty state-of-the-art toilet facility in there, but well, I guess it never hurts to have a backup, I suppose. Alrighty, I'll get the pit dug tomorrow and then the outhouse finished the day after. Anything else I can do for you? Actually, I changed my mind about where to put the outhouse. Okay, I haven't started digging yet, so that's fine. Where'd you want it instead of the Sandwich Museum? I don't know. Alright, there might be different plans that we can make later. Oh, there's different things I can purchase here. I purchased 2 more matches and a... 2 more matches and a fuse, and there's a plunger here, which is not dirty yet. You know, intellectually, that a brand new one of these is not, cannot be, dirty. This knowledge does not change anything. I buy another plunger, absolutely. Can't make my way out of the store. Seen the outhouse rentals. I feel like I've done everything I can do while I'm in this time zone at the moment. So it's on us to go back through the weird door. Hey, buddy. You got the valve I was asking for? Apparently not. So the foreman of the dam. Well, I guess, we can just go to the dam and pick one up if it happens to be around there. I thought we changed the state of something, though. Oh, right, we told him how to talk about his store, right? I think that was it. Alright, Valley Hardware. We're done with you for the moment. The fairy lair. Oh. No, I'm gonna go to the dam. 2 of the hovering shadow orbs float up to you. They look basically like the ones you saw before. That is, they look like nothing, or perhaps holes in everything? But these ones move with purpose, and that purpose is menace. The 2 orbs squint at you, and Mr. Poindexter's voice echoes in your head in a way that makes your eardrums itch.
Ah, who? Clearly, you did not recognize the warning inherent in our last meeting. How predictable you are.
Did you predict this hand gesture?
I suppose you think you're clever. I dislike clever people.
Well, that makes sense. Considering how you're so deeply in love with yourself.
Who? You are interfering in affairs that do not concern you. And they are the affairs of very important and very powerful people.
I'm just trying to find my uncle. How about you creeps stop interfering in my affairs?
This is your final warning, ho. We're not playing games here.
Well, that's a shame. I could teach you a pretty good one. It's called 52 Pickup. You whip out a deck of cards and spray them at the orbs, which flinch and sputter in a fluttering cloud of white cardstock. By the time Poindexter recovers his composure, you're gone.
Why, you dirty, uncouth little... Next time we meet, I'll put you in your place. And I'm adding littering to your list of crimes.
I continue to sneak away. This, it's huge! Damn! There's a lot of lake water in this pipe, so I'm gonna go fishing with my salty sea rod. You find an empty bag nearby that you use to hold any fish you manage to reel in. You get a whiplash rubberneck. Got a couple more of them in there for me? We caught a splurgeon. Those are expensive. Had to splash some cash for them. Shoe leather darmit. Alright, cool. It's a little bit of money. This pump has a Glaxton valve on it. I mean, look, I could grab it, but maybe let's take a second here first. This drain pipe has some nasty goo coming out of it. A beautiful flower stands in defiance of the reining in of nature. I'm gonna smell it. It smells as good as it looks. We stop to smell it. This pump has a Glaxton valve on it. Interesting. There's hobo code next to this pipe, which I will determine. The code reads, meat hidden in pipe. Ooh, you reach into the pipe and snag the concealed and congealed wealth. 150 meat comes our way. Maintenance access, right, just in case I want to step back in time. Another one of those time doors. Let's hope that repeated exposure to this isn't going to give you your ancestors' cancer.
Crystal Dam construction site. Dean Brothers door delivery. The door is being delivered. Climb up and go through? No, thank you. A crate labeled pipe shoes. I'm gonna see what's inside. This is probably not what they meant to order. Pipe shoes. They help you get around. These don't make any sense, but you're just going to have to roll with it.
I'm gonna put them on.
Okay.
Apparently that's how I get around. Some careless damn worker has abandoned a toolbox here. Their loss is my gain, as I get a disposable ratchet, a combat item, a piece of scrap metal, which gives your target shielded, causing them to ignore the next time they take damage, and foot gloves. Or maybe they're hand shoes, makes you walk on your hands. I just changed shoes, we'll come back in a bit to change them again. This truck is even heavier than a regular truck. I'm gonna fish. Nah, you don't want to get your hook stuck. Fair point well made. I need to get a better hook. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Poindexter says no one who ain't on the crew's allowed on the site.
Poindexter?
Yeah, Poindexter. The foreman. Terrence Poindexter. Oh, jeez.
The man clutches at his stomach. Are you alright?
Just starving's all. Rest of the crew went to lunch, but somebody had to stay here and keep all the rubberneckers and looky-loos off the site. I drew the short pants.
Short pants? Do you mean straw?
No, we got little pairs of pants we found when we cleared out a nest of fairies.
I see. Can I have them?
No, 'cause then we'd have no way of picking who stands guard. Oh man, I can't believe how hungry I am. Feels like I'm gonna turn inside out.
What about the table over there that says lunch?
There's a reason everybody else left the site to eat, pal. You don't want to eat what Poindexter considers lunch.
How bad could it be? Is it like jellied eels or something?
Man, I'd kill for a jellied eel. Poindexter brings these little bottles of sludge. He says, how's it go? He says, the point of eating is nutrition. Making sustenance pleasurable is a pointless waste of time and resources. He's a real right at parties, that guy.
He sounds awful.
That's because it is awful.
He clutches his stomach and moans. I'm gonna offer him something to eat, absolutely. Hey, buddy. Which of these is the easiest for me to get? Government-issued sardines. Hey, buddy. You offer him some government-issued sardines.
Oh, wow, thank you.
He greedily devours it. I'm gonna offer him some more to eat. Government-issued sardines.
Thanks, but I already had one of those. I can only eat one of every given thing every day. Doctor's orders.
His stomach is still growling. Fine, you may have a freshly baked roll.
Oh, wow, thank you.
He greedily devours it. I'm gonna offer him a homemade cookie.
Oh, wow, thank you.
He greedily devours it. You'd say he's probably about 60% sleepy and 40% hungry at this point in time. Fine, you want a fairy cake?
Oh, wow, thank you.
And, I mean, look, I don't want to give you a bucket of chum, but the pressed ham panini I found filed away. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that much more of that easily. I'm going to give you a handful of cream cheese.
Oh, wow, thank you.
He greedily devours it. Finally satiated, he slumps to the ground and falls fast asleep. We get 25 experience for having done so. The sign says lunch, but what's on the table isn't identifiable as anything you'd want to eat. Klaxman screws, Grafton nuts, Daxton shafts, Waxman discs, Braxton cords, Frampton pick. Sorry, Glaxton valves, let's grab one. Something, something, something it said, but it did give us a Glaxton valve. It's a brand new 11-year-old Glaxton valve. It's good they're building a dam, and it'd be a shame if future generations got to enjoy this beautiful forest. This brick outhouse is extremely well constructed. I step inside. Construction site bathroom. The taps don't work, but there's a bunch of water pooled in a basin. Sure, let's fish in it. I can't see any downside to that. Surprise, it's full of water! You should leave the rest for people who intend to use this room for its intended purpose. You got an item, handful of clean water. A workman-like toilet, for workman-like workmen. I flush it for a workman-like 30 experience. That guy's in his well-deserved food coma. I mean, you don't want to get your hook stuck. Interesting. I wanna fish in that in some way. How do I? How can I? Now, we don't need to try and... Oh, this pump is missing its Claxton valve. I see. There you go. You've gone through too much for this stupid valve. For this stupid valve, rather. To just give it to the government. This valve is held in place by decades of corrosion. If you could detach it, it'd get wrecked in the process. Right, I see. So I never had the ability to utilize those in the first place. You see a familiar-looking person heading towards you down the path. As they get nearer, you realize that the reason they look so familiar is because they look exactly like you. I'm gonna greet them. Hi, are you a clone or is this a time paradox or what? Turns out it's a time paradox, I guess. Wow, crazy! I agree! High five! The two of you, literally speaking, exchange a friendly high five. I'm gonna kiss him goodbye. You lean in for a kiss goodbye. No tongue now. Haha, yeah, we wouldn't want to make this weird or anything. Wink. Now you get to look forward for a second one. Oh, I can't wait for the event in the future where that happens again. I install the Grafton valve. Claxton valve! No! The Grafton valve's the wrong one! That's not gonna work! Fortunately, the place where it slots in is very clearly labeled. Considering we are about to have a discussion about the replacement of this valve, and maybe some continuation of our relationship with the Lighthouse Keeper afterwards, this seems like an appropriate time for us to call this episode and say that my name's been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Shadows Over Loathing. Top left is the YouTube playlist. Recommendations, streaming, recommendations down below and streaming past are the names of the people so generally supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. They're above the thank you, and a special thanks to this episode to Abatoth. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully see you all next time